So this is about 3 days later than the last time you guys saw it. Man, this thing was just terrible to get out. And talking to a lot of the guys on the 350Z group, which were incredibly helpful and not just posting for once. I'm just kidding. They do some helpful stuff too, but definitely lots of posting. Most people saying to go for the bread and grease. I did that as per remnants of the bread here. Probably shouldn't have done that. Oh, that's not good. But what did work was taking a 15 mil socket. My 3/8 deep socket fit, and then I threw a 3/8 extension over that and just hammered it in there. Now that in itself didn't work. What I had to do was hammer directionally at that point, like down, up, left, right, you know, so like some kind of Mortal Kombat cheat code.
Finish him!
And that eventually actually started moving it, and I was just stunned. I was so happy. I wish I had that on camera, because this has just been one of the biggest pains I've had to deal with. And again, like the manual ones are so easy to get out because they're brass, but these things just weld themselves to each other. So that is done. Now I get to clean out all this delicious bread and grease cake, taste it, and put that new manual pilot bushing in there. Means we can finally do what we set out to do the other day and get this puppy driven home. Boom. There we go. She's in. Okay, so we have these Arp Flywheel Bolts. They're not much more expensive than the OEM ones come out to be, so I went ahead and picked these up down at Summit. According to ARP's website, you're going to torque down each bolt to 70 foot-pounds, and you'll do it in a star or a crisscross pattern. Who's gonna drive you home? DeWalt. Alright, it's now time to throw in our beloved clutch here. And then you'll just put that into the pilot bushing there. Anyways, now that that is in place, I'm gonna go ahead and clean off the pressure plate real quick. All right, now that that's been cleaned off, there are dowel pins on the flywheel, and they will line up with the dowel pin holes on the clutch, so you can't mess it up. So, Nissan doesn't call for any Loctite for these pressure plate bolts that mount to the flywheel, but I always just use a very small amount of blue Loctite, just in case. Now make sure that you do include the washers on these things, because that is critical. Alright, so the first step is 8 to 14 foot-pounds. For the second one, it's going to be 26 to 32 foot-pounds. Alright, with all of those in, we can go ahead and pull out the clutch alignment tool. There we go. Jesus. What we're doing is replacing the O-ring in here on this coolant pipe, and then we are replacing the gaskets where this coolant pipe meets the back of the heads on each side. There we go. Alright, now that that's done, we're going to separate these pipes here. Alright, I just had to keep twisting the two pipes apart and then use a little bit of WD-40, and that did the trick. So we're going to pop off this O-ring and then throw on the new one. Alright, so we got it back together. Now, I almost missed this, but we want to make sure and clean up these mating surfaces as well too before we put everything back on. And this bolt here on the coolant pipe gets tightened to 16 to 20 foot-pounds, aka I can't find my smaller torque wrench, so do this by feel. And these are 16 to 20 foot-pounds as well too. All right, jumping over to the other side, we are actually going to replace this water inlet pipe on this side. These are the two 10 mil bolts that you'll be removing, and then there is a 12 mil bolt on this hard line here. So just pop that off there, take your new gasket and throw it on. All right, and these are a little different. These are 87 to 112 inch-pounds. Honestly, it's one of those hand-tight deals. So now that the motor is flipped over, we're going to go ahead and proceed with taking off these valve cover gaskets. I also have a coolant gasket down here in the valley that we're going to replace as well. Alright guys, we are here with another edition of Lawn Care Monday. This time it's Monday. Apologies for the audio for this first bit, but I've got my buddy Travis here. He's the one that we did the Z06 video with. Maybe we'll do some more videos with that in the future, but he's going to give me a hand. He's kind of finishing this thing up. So we're going to finalize the motor, put the gaskets on, put the harness on, the hoses, all that, and bolt it up with the trans and get ready to drop in. So I'm very appreciative that I have some help today. Thank you, Travis. I know it's good for you to work on a superior car every now and then.
Alright guys, well thanks for watching another episode. As you can see, we're getting closer to the finish of the VQ35DE JDM build. We have one more part left in this series, and then we'll wrap up the engine build and it'll be ready to go back in the car. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please let us know if you enjoyed this. If you didn't, tell us what we can do different, and we'll see you next time.